We're gonna grill this ribeye right on top of the coals. That will change your life right there. Hello, I'm Brett.
And I'm Heidi.
And we're gonna make grilled dirty ribeye bites, and it's gonna be the best piece of red meat you've ever had. Okay, we're gonna make a dirty ribeye, so we need a ribeye. You can use any cut of meat, but we prefer a good, well-marbled ribeye. First, a little bit of liquid smoke, about a capful per side. We'll just drizzle that on there. Then we're gonna season it. Use any seasoning you like, at least salt and pepper. Today we're gonna use Bad Byron's butt rub. And we're gonna season this steak at least a couple hours before we put it on. But remember to take the steak out and let it come to room temperature prior to putting it on the grill. So the first step is to get lump charcoal ready. We're going to use hardwood lump charcoal, not to be confused with charcoal briquettes. So I've got my lump charcoal in my chimney. I've got paper in the bottom. Now I'm going to get a little fire out of my fire pit, and it's going to take about an hour for the lump charcoal to get hot. So we're in Hotchkiss, Colorado, and we're around our chuck wagon. We ran our chuck wagon in Arizona for over 20 years, and one of our signature appetizers was a dirty ribeye. I learned about this originally in 1972 while I was a Boy Scout. In my old Boy Scout manual, there is a dirty grilling technique which is called a Tarzan steak. And it simply says, season your steak with salt and pepper, put it right on hot coals, cook it a few minutes, turn it over, brush off the coals that stick, then take it off and eat it. And with the dirty ribeye, we set about perfecting this and making it a great appetizer. All right, so the lump charcoal is hot and our cooking vessel is ready. We're gonna use something called a volcano, or you could even pour the coals out on the ground and have some sort of a lid to cover it with, but it's important you cover it. So here we go. I'm gonna take my chimney, dump the coals. I'm gonna spread these coals a little bit. There we go. Now, this is a special technique called a cowboy air compressor. Blow a little of the dust off. So right now, those coals are really, really hot in there. Here we go. We're gonna lay this in there right on the fire, and we wanna lay it in so that we can flip it to another area where those coals are fresh. Now we wait 3, 4, 5 minutes, and we don't remove the cover to check. So it's my understanding that Charles Goodnight is credited with creating the first chuck wagon. Really all the chuck wagon is, it's a trail wagon that has a box on the back that serves as the cook's kitchen and pantry. And one of the best things about it is it has its roots in lots of great American history of the chuck wagons driving cattle across the prairie and feeding big crews of hungry cowboys. This idea of a portable chuck wagon to support driving beef across the country was critical to the growth and the expansion of the American West. All right, it smells fantastic. We got a good fire going. So I'm gonna take my lid lifter, I'm gonna pick up my lid, set it on my lid stand. Now I'm gonna reach in here with my fork, and I'm gonna flip this steak over. And we got a few coals that are sticking. We have a fantastic sear. Now we've turned it over, boom, cover it again, and wait. So the first time I made a dirty ribeye for a corporate group at the Chuck Wagon in Scottsdale, of course the first comment I overheard is, did you see that? That crazy guy put the steak right on the fire. And then of course, when we served it sliced, I've oftentimes heard people say, my goodness, this is the best cut of red meat I've ever tasted. It's simple, it's fun, and there's this element of simplicity to it that's really hard to duplicate anywhere else. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Looks fantastic. Nothing even stuck to it. How about that? I'll go ahead and cover that. Now we wait a few minutes and rest that. All right, so we've tented our dirty ribeye for at least 3, 4 minutes. Now, look at all that juice there. We're gonna take that out. We'll pour the juices back on that. How about that? Now, let's slice into this thing and see how we did. Look at that. Got a nice sear. We're gonna slice some bites here to go on a crostini and serve this.
So to pair with our dirty ribeye, I made butter and blue cheese spread, 4 parts blue cheese to 1 part butter, spread on our crostini.
All right, Cookie always gets to try it. Here we go. It's smoky, the texture's great, fantastic flavor. It's gonna be even better on the crostini bite.
The butter and the blue cheese has slightly melted. The steak, the crispness of the crostini, just fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic with all the levels of flavor.